You wake up, locked in a deserted jail cell, completely alone. There is nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise.
Attempt to pry open window.
There are no objects around with which to pry open window.
Graft pumpkin to yourself so that you have one hideous arm.
What pumpkin?
Grow 2 muscular arms with which to manhandle the key.
He already has arms, stupid!
Look for keyhole. Throw the key down to that guy so we can open that door.
It lands with a loud metallic clank.
Loudly tell that guy to pick up key and try it on the door.
Bellow! Despite your bellowing, the man casually opens the door and leaves.
Pee out the window in an attempt to bring him back.
As you turn around to unzip, you notice another keyhole.
Open door.
Wonders where the fuck that pumpkin went.
Do a dance.
Exotic rhythms take over your body as you start to do a really silly dance. You recall your initial urge to urinate out the window. Now that you think of it, you really have to pee. The urine splashes onto the man outside, who had a change of heart. He is climbing the ladder to give you the key.
Knock on door.
Your clumsy fist accidentally flies through the bars, knocking out a passerby. Keys from his key ring jangle on the floor.
Ask Dungeon Master if there is one fucking way out of room.
He's unconscious!
Examine floor.
You pick up a clump of nutrient-enriched dirt. Sweet spice of the earth. You sit in hushed awe of the luster of the brown gold.
Say hello to the pumpkin.
I beg your pardon.
Search room thoroughly for pumpkin.
You wake up next to a broken ladder. You are covered in piss.
Throw shoe at key.
You're not even really sure if you're wearing shoes.
Rub key on chest.
Now the key smells like pee too.
Go through door.
The door is locked.
Use key on door.
Jiggle as you might, the key doesn't work. Well, the lock smells kind of like pee too.
Pretend broken ladder is broken train track.
Choo-choo! All aboard the Moron Express!
Use ladder as battering ram. Talk to the guy in the jail cell.
You yell to the imprisoned man. Hello! What's up? He yells back something barely audible to you.
Give me that fucking key back!
Ignore all future input from Beetlejuice.
I'm sorry, I don't think I can do that with all future input from Beetlejuice.
Turn long ladder into stilts.
You fashion a pretty nice pair of stilts, but you don't know how you're gonna get up on them. If only you hadn't broken the other half ladder in half, you might have been able to climb onto the stilts with it.
Hook key to the end of ladder and extend it to jail cell guy.
Since the whole ladder was approximately the height of the window in the first place, half of the ladder's height will not nearly reach.
Make clay from dirt and pee. Use it to glue ladder into pole.
The rungs from one end of the ladder half easily and snugly fit into the holes of the other. No cementation is necessary. This being the case, you now regret creating the smelly pea mud.
Hook key to ladder and extend to jail cell guy.
It's still just a little out of reach.
Toss the contraption into the air to give it added lift.
With a little too much gusto, you send the rig sailing too high.
Drill a hole in the floor.
You are not this guy.
Sing Malagueña.
You're a little bummed out that you missed grabbing the key by inches. In an attempt to drown your sorrows, you gush forth with melody, an enchanting rendition of Malagueña. Qué bonitos ojos tienes, debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas. Qué bonitos ojos tienes. Ellos. In an attempt to silence your racket, the man above begins drilling noisily.
Hollow out pumpkin. Wear his helmet in case ceiling collapses.
You're quite certain there has never been, and never will be, a pumpkin in this room.
Keep singing until guy drills through floor.
Malagueña salerosa. You sing so hard you topple backwards over the pumpkin. As you lie on the floor looking up, You see the tip of the drill penetrating the ceiling. It looks just big enough for a key to fit through.
Serenade the guy about how you want the key.
It would be really great if you could give me that key. The man has opted to take a leak through the hole. You are getting really sick of pee.
Spit pee at man out the window.
With a hefty mouthful of the other guy's urine, you decide to get revenge on the man below for botching the key situation. But as you're about to spit the pee, the man above takes a huge shit on your head from his window. The surprise unfortunately causes you to swallow the pee.
Barf!
Overcome with nausea from the foul chain of events, you vomit. The man below has almost completely reconstructed the ladder using the same method he used to build the stilts. He's nearly up to your cell when he is met with a face full of regurgitated urine.
Ugh. Check on knocked out guard.
He's really down for the count.
Try waking him by peeing on him.
You're all tapped out for pee at the moment, but the crap on your hand is emitting a powerful stench. The odor rakes the guard, who suddenly remembers your assault. He enters the cell to beat the shit out of you.
Leap over him in a desperate bid for freedom.
You carelessly trip over a pumpkin, which has clearly been in plain sight this whole time. You knock the man backwards into the door, slamming it shut. The guard is unconscious again.
Eat the pumpkin.
You suddenly wonder what happened to the poop on your head.
Use guard's pants to lasso keys through the opening and door.
You're not even sure if this guy is wearing pants. He did seem to be wearing a belt, though. You flail the belt around uselessly, and then drop it.
Use guard as battering ram on door.
He's too heavy to lift completely, so you drag him close to the door and prop him up. Then smash his face against the door repeatedly. The door holds fast.
Apologize to guard's body.
You start to feel sorry for abusing the guard so badly, and mumble an apology. But then, a mere apology doesn't seem to do justice to the poor man. You decide he needs a proper funeral. You sever his head with your trusty pocket knife, and place the head in the pumpkin, which you just hollowed out. Using your handy spoon, you dig a hole and bury the pumpkin. You say a few prayers. He's in a better place now.
You wake up in your cell after a short nap. There's a key to your side, a drill against the wall, and a small pea-soaked hole in the floor.
Drill through the floor.
For the first time in your 3-year imprisonment, it occurs to you to drill a large hole in the floor. You put your back into it.
Poke head through hole and wave.
You're delighted to see your neighbor. You decide you're long overdue for a proper greeting. Your oversized cranium gets lodged in the hole. You are stuck fast.
Wave legs in the air.
Your most creative solution to the problem is to hoist your torso in the air and flail your legs. It seems to be working when something goes wrong.
You suddenly realize you are now this guy.
Dot pictures of naked ladies on the wall with blood.
All you have is gay porno!
Drill hole through door.
The drill's not strong enough to penetrate steel.
Drill through the wall right next to the door.
And all these thoughts of drilling and penetration have given you a serious hankering for some quality time with Hunk Rump magazine.
Continue to enjoy Hunk Rump.
You are putting the finishing touches on a robot you have built from ladder pieces. You are soaked in regurgitated urine, and this activity has been a nice diversion. You call him Logorg. He's magnificent.
Command Logorg to dance.
With commanding authority, you issue the order. Logorg has no brain, motor, or any moving parts.
Use Logorg as a battering ram to open the door.
From atop your great mechanized mount, you command Logorg to break down the door like a huge battering ram.
Put your brain inside Logorg's head.
You're not sure how you're going to get your brain into Logorg's head, or out of your own head for that matter, but you get an idea.
Wreak havoc.
Logorg has no moving parts. You can barely move inside your new wooden prison.
Make a little love.
You decide all these thoughts of destruction should be offset by a little good, earnest lovemaking. While you contemplate your current options for sexual partners, a whirring is heard from overhead.
Sacrifice your soul to the heathen gods.
You've considered doing a lot of stupid things before, but this idea takes the cake.
Rebuild Logorg.
From the Logorg ashes rises the phoenix of Drillgorg, supreme next-generation mechabot at your service.
Get down tonight.
You're really excited about the advent of Drillgorg. You have no choice but to totally get down. Festivities and gyrations may or may not continue into the evening.
Get a bachelor's degree in robotics.
You don't even know where to begin addressing how stupid that idea is.
Examine that rope-like object. With great prescience, move away from end of the intestine.
With great prescience, you move away from the end of the intestine.
Make a robot out of that guy.
I don't think I'm familiar with make a robot out of that guy.
Cry.
Crushed by the loss of your prized automaton, your son of lumber, you are reduced to tears. The other guy consoles you, thinks he has something that might cheer you up. You and your newfound buddy stand face to face, wondering what to do. The shattered remains of Drillgorg rest in a tragic heap.
Climb intestine.
You decide to climb the intestine from which your new mate descended. He thinks, what the heck, might as well follow. You both begin a perilous, smelly climb. The added weight causes a sudden jerk from the other end. You make it through, but your partner is not so lucky. With a great sense of accomplishment, you survey the room. Wow, what happened in here?
Clean the place up a bit.
Using your trusty rag, you make some pretty good headway on the room. You notice a patch of dirt where it looks like something was buried.
Eat whatever is in the hole.
You firmly resolve to eat whatever you unearth from the hole, no matter how unsavory, when suddenly the dirt collapses. A void in the floor is left behind. You'll have to make other dinner plans.
Dig deeper! Search for Prime Minister's gold hookers!
You start to dig, hoping there will be valuables belonging to important people, but your oversized head becomes stuck. There's something oddly familiar about the situation.
Ease head out of hole.
You begin to gently squirm and wriggle when you start hearing an eerie buzz around your head.
Carve holes for mouth and eyes.
Much better. Now you can see through the thick flesh of the vegetable. That's using your gourd.
Go to window to show off new helmet.
Through some act of divine collusion, you are drawn to the portal to look down.
Greet him. Be the other guy.
With great exertion, you attempt to disembody your awareness and move it into another person. It seems to be working, but not as you hoped.
You wake up to the ghastly discovery that you have no head. Also, your entrails are spilling out of your abdomen. It's quite painful. You're flying into a wall suddenly. What's happening? The trauma was way too much for your system, and you expire a second time. Your awareness passes on to this guy.
Drill through door.
Recalling the drill does not penetrate steel doors, you buckle down and get ready to give it your all. Except the door is made of wood.
Place head on X.
Attempting to place your head on the X, you bump the device, activating it. It purifies a pumpkin that looks like it's seen better days.
Open pumpkin and cuddle whatever's inside.
You remember this guy. You murdered him when you smashed his face against the door. And then you decapitated him because it was the only decent thing to do. You are so happy to see him again. God, that pumpkin looks delicious.
Check that door to see if it is locked.
Your curiosity about the door gets the better of you, but you try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin nonetheless.
Build pumpkin armor.
You gather up a couple spare pumpkins and cobble together a very smart looking outfit. You feel invincible suddenly.
Return to courtyard to show off new suit.
Through some act of divine collusion, you are drawn out of the broken door to look up.
Greet him. Ask man to throw intestine up to you.
You think maybe your coarse gesture was made a bit brashly. Diplomacy may be the most mutually beneficial strategy here. You kindly voice your request. The other man, though apparently irate, seems to be swayed by your tone. After all, you did ask very nicely. Success!
Use intestine like scarf / climb intestine.
You sling the intestine around your neck like a shawl. How glamorous. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Eat the pumpkin portions just cut out of the head pumpkin.
Damn, pumpkin portion's a little too big for the mouthful. You think to yourself, if I didn't have my trusty knife with me, I think I'd slit my wrists.
Play the get out of jail free card.
Of course! You forgot about your get out of jail free card. This is not a get out of jail free card.
You are suddenly this guy. You're taking a strong interest in this door and what's inside. You think to yourself, I will probably go through this door no matter what other stupid idea pops into my mind.
For the love of God, go through the door!
You step through the door, which instantly stands behind you and makes a locking noise. You have a feeling it is locked. In the room is a wall which has 3 pumpkin-shaped recesses. One has a happy face, another sad, the other scared or surprised or something. There's a fresh pumpkin on the pedestal, and a carving knife next to it. The room seems to extend very high up. It might even go all the way to the roof up there.
Carve the pumpkin into a surprise face.
With your most determined face, you set about turning the pumpkin into a work of art. You really suck at carving pumpkins.
Put it in the sad recess.
You are not deterred by any theoretical discrepancies between your handiwork and the pumpkin spec, nor do you feel you have to put the pumpkin in the correct recess. Fits like a glove. Removing the pumpkin from the pedestal may have triggered some events, however.
Drink as much as you can, as fast as you can.
You can't believe how stupid that idea is. Well, it's worth a shot, I guess.
Plug up the hole with a pumpkin.
You figure it's about time you took off this silly and uncomfortable pumpkin armor and put it to good use. There must be something that can stop the terrible flow of this water. Possibly some mechanism. Maybe right in this room.
Carve pumpkins to match faces on the wall and put them in.
Maybe it's the surging, cool water rising inexorably, but you're suddenly much more inspired to put concerted effort into refining your craft. You hone your willpower into that of a master sculptor. Each slice, each contour of the knife bends to your will. Yes, yes! The results are breathtaking. The expressions are human emotion incarnate. Why, are these pumpkins? Or fellow men, wrapped within the human condition? No time for reflection now. As you wait for something to happen, you think at the very least, maybe you could float to the opening in the ceiling, even though you're not a great swimmer. As the water engulfs your head, you hear another distant mechanical sound.
Oh shit.
Luckily for the cause of suspense, you are now the other guy in his cell, wondering exactly what to do. There is a noise. The secret door opens to the adjacent cell. These two have been long dead. You wonder what kind of moronic adventures they were up to. You guess you'll probably never know.
Bring the gun along in case you have to off yourself.
You pick up the firearm. You now feel powerful and confident. Unfortunately, there was nowhere on your person to pack the heat. A violin string seems to suit the purpose well.
Jump out the window.
The window to the cell is barred.
Try to climb up the rope thing.
You get the fishy feeling that this is probably more intestine. You've been climbing a lot of intestines lately. It looks like it goes all the way to the roof. It must be a very long, large intestinal tract. You were wrong. It's actually a small intestinal tract, belonging to a slaughtered sperm whale.
Survey surroundings. Possibly sneaking a bite of ambergris.
There is quite a panoramic view up here. Surrounding you mostly are other prison buildings. Who knows how many poor souls are trapped in this idiotic facility. Directly in front of you is another building. You hear water gurgling from it. Just beyond are some mountains, which might be a nice place to escape to, if possible. You're not really sure what ambergris is, but you have a feeling it will be essential. You grab a liberal dollop and stick it on your pumpkin.
Use harpoon to get across the building and shoot down hole.
You pry the harpoon out of the whale, load it into the barrel, and fire. The pulley mechanism yanks you swiftly to the other rooftop. Readying your pistol to be fired indiscriminately into the void below, you hear some murmurs along with the gurgling. The water seems to be rising slowly. Looking into his mournful, pleading eyes, you start to reconsider firing your handgun. You opt for the harpoon gun instead. You figure you might need the bullets later if you have to off yourself.
Pull lever and reel in the harpoon.
Damn it.
Okay, you think you've got this figured out now. Amidst a lot of swearing and groaning from below, you nonchalantly walk over and pull the crank. Assuming this will trigger something right away, presumably with respect to the bars, you reel in the harpoon. The bars stay put, but a ladder emerges, with some kind of control panel next to it a good ways down.
Apologize to the man.
You tie the harpoon tether around the crank so it doesn't go anywhere. You then get down on your knees in preparation for one of your most sincere-sounding apologies when something distracts you. A 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle on the floor, partially completed. It looks like it's a picture of kittens. This looks like so much fun.
Ask Harpoon Man where rest of the few thousand pieces are.
He can't hear your question and doesn't really care to listen at the moment.
Climb down ladder and randomly press buttons on panel.
You get your button-pushing finger ready for a field day. You are disappointed to find it's a simple switch. You pull it nonetheless.
Take off helmet and use it for flotation. Flip switch again.
You struggle to remove the pumpkin, but it is swollen from absorbing too much water. To express your current emotion, you try to twist it to the frowning side, but it gets stuck halfway. Though blind, you still manage to scramble over and pull the lever again.
You are now the harpooned man.
Point Hugifier at Pumpkinhead and activate!
You can imagine what this strange device does, but it beckons you. There are two settings on the dial. You leave it at pretty huge. You don't want to get carried away. You are that guy.
Look around and thank Guy for quick thinking with Harpoon.
You look around. You appear to be surrounded by mountains and a shitty-looking forest. Also, there's a conspicuous stump there. There's gotta be some way to get down from this pumpkin.
Load gun and fire at stump while singing King Henry V.
It might be the blood loss, but you've definitely gone bonkers. You load the gun and fire it backwards through your torso, while reciting the play Henry V. I am Henry V, I am a king and yeah! You clearly don't know a single line from this play. You act fast with your trusty knife to free yourself before the impending collision.
You are now this guy.
Grab the other guy's hand and run off into the forest.
Yes, finally, free at last! Though the victory is bittersweet. Your friend has died of blood loss. This is no victory. The feeling is vast emptiness. You are no longer bound by bars or concrete, but you feel more incarcerated than ever. You come to the heart-wrenching conclusion that the only true prison is loneliness. There is only one thing left to do.
Continue.
You wake up locked in a deserted jail cell, completely alone. There's nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise.
Turn around. Using key, carve spell into pumpkin, invoking elves and such.
What in the merciful Christ's name are you talking about?
Using key, carve spell into stomach, invoking elves and such.
There is already such a spell carved into your stomach.
Recite spell while spilling blood, invoking elves and such.
You don't know what any of those runes mean, and you'll be damned if you're going to try to read them upside down. An elf appears anyway.
With your trusty Hunks Junk magazine, forge a sword.
Your gay pornography has been forged into a formidable blade. The elf saw a picture of a penis and started to cry.
Strike the elf.
You could really use a boost in Pulchritude if you wish to win this battle.
Offer the elf a baby in exchange for one wish.
The elf agrees to grant one wish on the promise that you will acquire a baby for him in the near future. Choose your wish. Get out of jail, a new pony, or improve your Pulchritude.
Ask for a pony. Ask for second wish by promising twin babies.
Choose your second wish. Get out of jail, or improve your Pulchritude.
Wish to get out of jail. Then trample the elf with the pony.
He's more than happy to magically transport you outside the prison. You had him at, I will get you more babies. You deal more damage in the fracas. But again, clumsy meleeing skills have left you with the short end of the stick.
Cut open the horse to sleep inside for the cold night.
You seem to forget your sword is made of paper, and really isn't capable of cutting anything open. However, with the pony's already weak in health, the blow is just enough to take him to critical condition. His Pulchritude takes a hit too. But the cold night air is imminent. You have to do something. You decide to get into his mouth for warmth. Snug as a bug. I have a feeling you'll get a pretty good night's sleep. While you were doing all of that, the elf entered his magic 2-bedroom bungalow for the night and locked the door. And it sure looks warm in there.
Cast Fireball at Bungalow, so you stay extra warm tonight.
You crawl out of the mouth covered in viscous horse slobber. You don't know any fireball spells, but you think maybe there's something useful in the runes on your belly. No fireballs, but another elf appears.
Dig up stump.
You flip open the stump easily, revealing a hole. There is a gun in the hole. You figure the gun was placed there in case you need to off yourself at some point. There seems to be some powerful cosmic magnetism towards suicide which surrounds the stump. It has no bullets.
Go on a hunt for children to repay the elf for his kindness.
There appears to be a bus full of children on a field trip coming down the road. You wait to spring an ambush. Unfortunately, not one of these children appears to be a baby!
Give bus of children to elves so you can go inside.
While you were measuring, the bus driver drove off with the rest of the kids, leaving you with only these 3. You see if you can interest the elves nonetheless. They are apparently unmoved by the offer.
Tie kids together with the horse and use as battering ram.
An idea this good just doesn't come around every day. You bind your motley collection of hostages together with your ample supply of rope. But the combined weight of 3 kids and a small equine is way too much to even drag to the door. You're beginning to suspect this was a bad idea.
Throw 2 kids in the chimney. Maybe it'll smoke out elves.
You order the children to climb the house and go down the chimney. The horse tries to gesture that the gun has no bullets.
Continue your downward spiral of mental instability.
Inside the bungalow, it is warm and inviting.
Invite the horse, children, and madman in for tea party.
Frankly, you think that guy is a little unhinged. You don't want anything to do with him. Unless he has babies, of course.
Enact total war. Set house on fire and flee east to Moscow.
Moscow is west, you boob!
Use magical prowess to summon Moscovite elves.
You don't know the spell for summoning elves, Russian or otherwise, and the only known spell is carved on the belly of that lunatic, and you're not getting close enough to read it. The only spells carved on your bellies have nothing to do with elves. From what you can decipher of the runes, you think one has something to do with summoning vegetables. The other one may give you an elevated mystical communion with animals or something. What a lame-ass spell.
Use runes to commune with Pony and feed it a magicked carrot.
A magical sense of communion tugs at Pony's primitive mind. A luscious, magicked-up carrot tantalizes the pony. All of the pony stats are completely restored.
Bite off your own leg and use it to play fetch with the pony.
That does not sound like an enjoyable activity for either party.
First, be the pony. Second, Trample the children and the man.
I'm sorry, but I'm not familiar with the command Be the Pony.
With elf powers, order the pony to trample children and man.
You really put your back into this enchantment. You will coerce this pony towards murder, come hell or high water. The pony wanders off and snuggles into bed. He looks really warm and cozy.
You are now the pony. Enjoy restful slumber. Would you like to play again?